5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Heat and humidity ramp up even higher today. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. State of emergency remains in place for parts of southern Florida. Here's Victor Oquendo.
The National Weather Service warning of new catastrophic floods after a tropical fuel deluge that swamped whole neighborhoods in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, forcing the shutdown of part of I-95 and stranding vehicles everywhere. Leo Alonso telling me he's towed dozens of vehicles.
One call after another.
I don't even answer anymore.
Really?
I don't even answer. It's too much.
Homeowners in this Fort Lauderdale neighborhood trying in vain to keep the water out of their homes.
I just bought this house.
Marcus Vitale has only lived here 8 months.
Here in Nashville, Covenant School Shootings Writings Case Update. The Tennessee Star says the judge overseeing the case has denied a motion by its editor and CEO Michael Leahy to give him more time to prepare for a hearing on Monday. Judge Aisha Miles has ordered Leahy to court to explain how publishing what he says are leaked documents from the shooter is not a violation of her order after a previous leak and should not subject him to contempt proceedings and sanctions. Leahy's motion claims the judge didn't go through the proper process, and he's just reporting the news. A Metro police officer who was fired for appearing in an adult video on the website OnlyFans is now facing felony charges. Sean Herman was arrested at his home in Sumner County yesterday and charged with official misconduct for allegedly being on duty at the time the sexually charged video was created in April. Channel 4 says a criminal court judge set Herman's bond at $3,000. And a former Middle Tennessee teacher is on the run. Tennessee's most wanted added to 54-year-old Jonathan Ulrich yesterday. News 2 says a post to X, formerly Twitter, said the former Fairview Elementary School teacher cut off his ankle monitor while out on bond following a December 2022 indictment for charges including rape of a child and incest. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Here's Daria Albinger.
Stocks closed mixed as two of the indices continue to hit new benchmarks. The Nasdaq rose 59 points. The S&P added 13, both closing at record highs, while the Dow fell 66 points. The Supreme Court sided with Starbucks in its ongoing labor disputes with some of its coffee houses. The justices rejected a National Labor Relations Board rule that some efforts are using in order to unionize. We got a third look at inflation this week, the Producer Price Index, which measures prices at the wholesale level before they reach consumers. They fell 0.2% in May. President Biden has chosen a new head of the FDIC. He's expected to nominate Christy Goldsmith Romero to replace Martin Greenberg. He's stepping down after an independent report found allegations of workplace abuse within the agency. The number of Americans filing first-time unemployment claims hit a 10-month high last week.
All right, let's check futures ahead of this morning's opening bell on Wall Street. It's a mixed bag. Dow futures up 135, S&P down 21, NASDAQ up 232. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Information fueled.
Opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
We talk news.
5:07. Good morning. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And welcome on into your Friday, June 14th. What are we at now, Johnny? 4 minutes? 4 minutes. CNN is spending on this handshake between Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell. I think what's going on, Ken and Johnny, I think they're a little jelly. I think they're jealous. I think that CNN and the Democrats, they're jealous that Donald Trump apparently has united all the factions that have, sort of been at odds within the Republican Party.
45's got a very firm grip. He's getting ready to have a very firm grip on the nation after November.
That's exactly right.
And plus, CNN's very jealous because he's actually shaking hands with the real person.
It's not a ghost.
Not wandering around.
Not yet.
Not wandering around.
45 is flesh and blood. I can attest to that.
So, a number of things going on here. So, number one, in the news today, Joe Biden, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but he was gathering for a photo at the G7. And Ken, I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh, no. I want to.
He just started wandering stage right. I mean, Biden did. And so the prime minister of Italy had to actually go sort of grab the president by his arm and say, come on back over here. And it's like she's dealing with a 5-year-old. And
he said, what's the matter with you? What's the matter here?
And so it's embarrassing because he did go off. Everybody else is in a group. And then you look at Biden and he's just sort of aimlessly starts walking. Now, in the president's defense, there's a I don't know what it is, some sort of paratrooper, whatever it is, some guy with a...
They're handling their parachutes.
Yeah, they're handling their parachutes. And the parachutists have just come down. And so there's a parachuter guy over there, and he's putting his parachute back in his pack, and Biden is kind of sort of wandering around and kind of giving this really meek thumbs up to him, which in and of itself is awkward because there's another parachuter guy like right in front of the group.
And they're all watching him.
Yeah. So everybody's watching the guy right in front of him, but Biden decides to wander off and watch the guy over there. And so Italy's prime minister, she asked to just go over there and get him back into the group so that they could take a picture. So there's that. And so back to this handshake, you have for the Republican Party, it is clear now that everyone, because the former president meeting with the House of Representatives, by the way, Congressman Andy Ogles will rejoin us again today. I know he was on earlier this week, but he was in the room. And so he's going to tell us what that room was like as Donald Trump was speaking to the Republicans. And so the former president meeting with the Republicans in the House, the former president meeting with the Republicans in the Senate as well. And it looks like everybody, including he and Mitch McConnell, they shook hands. CNN is still doing this. I mean, we're going on 7 minutes of the handshake. I mean, it's kind of weird, actually, because I think that part of what's going on is we all know how divided the Democrats are. And so I think for CNN and for the, politicians at large, I think they're watching Donald Trump unite the Republicans, and the Democrats, they are still incredibly divided. The Democrats are divided over Israel. The Democrats are divided over crime. They're certainly divided over Joe Biden and whether or not he should be their nominee and should he run for, yet another second term. And so the Democrats are divided on literally just about everything. The only thing they're unified on is in their disagreement over everything. And so Trump, he goes in and he makes nice with Mitch McConnell. I guess those two haven't actually seen each other since January 6th. And so I think CNN, we're now on, I think, minute 8 of the handshake. They've got 4 people talking about this handshake. Am I misreading this?
They're analyzing it.
They're analyzing a handshake.
Yeah.
Because what they're trying to do is, I think they're trying to say, oh, I know what they're trying to do. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to make it seem like the Republican Party is in disarray because Mitch McConnell shook hands with Donald Trump.
Orange man.
I think, orange man bad. This is the orange man shaking hands with, what is it? The parrot? Is that what people call Mitch McConnell? Parakeet? Whatever. Anyway. I thought that was a thing.
A parakeet?
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell looks like a bird, doesn't he?
I thought he was a turtle.
He looks like either a turtle or a parakeet.
Well, let's go to the internet.
What does the internet say? What does Mitch McConnell more look like? Is it a parakeet or a turtle? Let's go to the phones.
McConnell.
Yeah, let's get your
like.
thoughts. Super texters.
Super texters, turtle or parakeet?
There we go.
I think he looks more like a bird, to be honest. I mean, I understand that he also has the look of a turtle. Well, Johnny, what do you say?
I would say bird.
You would say a bird?
Yeah, he does kind of resemble a parakeet. A
You know
pale
what?
parakeet.
Yes, an old pale parakeet.
I don't know. I'm thinking about a cartoon turtle I used to watch as a kid.
Chuck Schumer says McConnell should have had the courage to not show up. That, of course, is what Mitch McConnell has to say.
That's rich coming from Chuck.
Or Chuck Schumer. That's what Chuck
Chucky.
Schumer has to say.
Yeah, what a class act he is.
He's actually really not. Anyway, so I asked the question. What does? Okay, so 5436 says that Rush Limbaugh said that McConnell was the turtle. Turtle. Mario says turtle.
There you go.
Turtle. Let's see here. Turtle Keat. There we go. 3157 says Turtle Keat.
There you go.
That way.
That's
a
perfect.
turtle keat.
0164 says that he only looks like a rhino. Mitch McConnell.
Of course.
There you go.
Maybe CNN's jealous of their manicurists.
Maybe that's what it is.
Like, are they showing a close-up of the hands clasped together?
No, they're just showing
of 45 and Mitch McConnell.
No, they're just showing a handshake.
Are they going to get a body language expert on?
Here we go. Hold on.
Are they dog whistling something?
I got one. This guy's setting me up for a joke. 0857. What's worse than 4 people on CNN talking about a handshake? And I know what he's going to say.
Yeah, me
3
too.
people on the radio talking about the 4 people talking about 2 people having a handshake.
And a turtle keat.
And a turtle keat.
Good morning.
5:15, time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, very good. 5:15 on Nashville's Morning News. Partly cloudy today and a high of 94. Sunny this weekend, highs in the mid-90s. Going to feel like it's in the triple digits, as a matter of fact. And right now, it is. I'm just laughing at people.
We got a new one, man.
Oh, we got a new one,
Right
Dan.
now, 69 degrees. What?
We got a new one.
Yeah?
I got to see whose name this is. Sorry. Oh, this is from Steven. Mitch is Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, my Lord. He does look like that.
Just like Granny.
Oh, my goodness.
And the older that he gets, the smaller that he gets, and the more Mitch McConnell looks like Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. How can one person look like so many things? Turtle, a parakeet, or
turtle
Granny
keat.
from the Beverly Hillbillies?
Granny.
Now we're going to have to come up with some quotes from Granny.
Yes, we are.
People are saying that Mitch McConnell is so slow that he is more turtle-like, and he does freeze, and turtles freeze as well.
Yes, they do.
I don't know about parakeets.
Yeah, but turtles inherently freeze.
Do they?
They're just slow.
Yeah, they are. They could be moving. They're not frozen. They're just so slow that it looks like they're frozen. So there you have it.
Good old CNN, boy. Some hard-hitting journalism up there.
You know what?
Analyzing a handshake.
So maybe Biden should be the turtle because he's slow. Now.
He could.
Yeah.
He could. And I think turtles, if I've noticed anything about turtles on my vast property is that they do wander.
Yes.
Just like Joe Biden did.
Exactly.
Now, what did Donald Trump say after meeting with all those Republicans?
I want to thank everybody here. You're all either elected or you're going to be elected again and reelected. And I'm with every one of you, and you know that. I'll be with you always. And thank you very much for inviting me. And this is an outstanding group of people. I'm with them 1,000%. They're with me 1,000%. We agree just about on everything. And if there isn't, we work it out. And we have one thing in mind, and that's making our country great. So thank you all very much. We appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
There you go. And people applauded. Now, I'm going to be honest with you folks, because I do consider you my friend or friends. Sometimes it feels like only one person is listening, but that's okay. Is that I had to edit that down because Trump, he had a little bit of word salad yesterday. I'm going to be honest. When he was talking about how he appreciated meeting everyone, he was a little word salady, but I think that he was very excited and appreciative that he was able to shake the hand of Mitch McConnell. I'm sure that's what he was so giddy about. I think he just felt like there was a lot of unity in the room. And that's not something that the Republican Party really has felt a lot of. Although now that we've had 3.5 years of Biden, I think it is clear that the Republican Party, as you just heard Donald Trump say, the Republican Party is united. And, you know, for a man who has not been in office for 3.5 years, he really hasn't done a whole heck of a lot, yet he is getting all of this support from the American people. And I'm telling you why. The reason why is because we have a president who goes wandering off in the middle of a photo op. By the way, number one, if you want to see the wandering, you can go to the Dan Mandis Show Twitter feed, and I've got a video of it. But there's also the internet folks out there who do such things. They have a video. Of course, they've doctored the video, and the video shows all of the world leaders, right, or the G7, the world leaders there for the G7, and they're all looking up. And they're looking up at these, paragliders or parachuters, whatever you want to call them, and they're coming down. And they're oohing and awing because they're coming down and it looks so spectacular and serene. And in the doctored video, they're all holding signs that say FJB. So there you go. Listen, it's funny. It is funny. That's why you have CNN spending so much time on a handshake, is because really you look at how unified the Republicans are, and then you look at how unified the Democrats are not, and the only thing CNN can do, instead of looking at the dysfunction that is the Democrat Party, they try to make the unity in the Republican Party a bad thing, because if Donald Trump is shaking hands with Mitch McConnell, then the Republican Party is rotten to the core. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. That's what it seems to me they're trying to do. The reality is, and I've got some incredible polling that I'm going to share with you very soon. It's clear the American people, according to this polling, believe that Joe Biden is he is lost. He is lost. His mind is lost, and that mind is not coming back. I'm going to give you a hint. Did you know that almost half of the American people believe that Joe Biden is going to get lost on stage at the debate?
Well, that's why he wants to sit down.
You know, maybe what they need to do is just go ahead and put Joe Biden in like a wheelchair, and then they could just wheel him to the exit. Maybe that's what they need to do.
They're afraid he's going to start mimicking Elvis on stage and throw a hip out.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because, he used to work with the King, wrote a few songs for him.
Sure did.
That's exactly right. He played guitar in that first hit single.
And a lot of people don't know he was the one that would always put the cape on James Brown and bring him off stage.
That's exactly right.
I wondered that.
Yeah, that was Joe.
That was Joe Biden.
Yeah.
There you go.
Too fun.
At least that's what he's telling the black community to try to get their votes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was the
that's
gatekeeper
coming
for
through.
James Brown. That's why you should vote for me. I was the cape keeper for James Brown.
And that's where he got the idea for I Feel Good. 'Cause I was a dancing fool.
Yeah.
I feel good.
He once arm wrestled President Lincoln.
I won.
All right, we got to go.
I
522.
won the hat.
Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
State of emergency remains in southern Florida for life-threatening flooding, and a motion has been filed in the hearing on Monday over leaked documents said to be from the Covenant school shooter's writings. We'll have it at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
528, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. So, we spent probably far too much time trying to figure out what or who Mitch McConnell looks like in the first segment. I apologize to new management in advance because I know that I'm going to hear about that.
Yeah.
But Brandon says this. Mitch McConnell looks like a half-melted wax statue of Orville Redenbacher.
That's true.
You know what's crazy? Whether it's Grandma was a Clampett.
Yeah, Granny.
Granny Clampett, or a turtle, or a parakeet, or
a turtle keet,
or a melted wax figure of Orville Redenbacher. They all work.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing, is they all work.
He looks like one of those porcelain dolls he likes to collect.
All right, so does Mitch McConnell collect porcelain dolls?
That's what I heard, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, my.
And you people think I'm weird. Anyway, all right, 529, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk, the Glock Store. So listen, you know that I went through the amazing training at the Glock Store in Nashville a couple of years ago, and I cannot say enough good things about that training. And right now, they've got an incredible opportunity for you to up your game. Now, it begins today and goes through tomorrow. They have precision rifle marksmanship. In other words, what you're going to do is learn how to hit your target from nearly a half mile away. Now, that's a bunch of football fields, friends. Now, the instructor is a former Army sniper. So today, if you sign up this morning, you learn the intricacies of long-distance ballistics, and then tomorrow's the big day, where you're going to the McGill Family Farm and private shooting facility where you'll be hitting targets from 700 meters. Now, I think there's 1 or 2 slots left. So if you want to sign up, visit glockstore.com/training, then click on classes. Again, glockstore.com/training, then click on classes if you want to go. I don't believe that it's too late. 1930 Air Lane Drive, minutes from the airport and worth a drive from anywhere.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we're told today's going to be more humid and hotter than it was yesterday. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. A state of emergency remains in southern Florida for life-threatening flooding after getting 1 to 2 feet of rain over the past 2 days, and more is coming. Victor Oquendo says it's so bad, tow truck drivers are giving up.
How many cars do you think you've towed?
Since yesterday, probably 60.
Does the phone just not stop ringing right now?
It just keeps going.
One call after another.
I don't even answer anymore.
Really?
I don't even answer. It's too much.
He's not even answering calls anymore. Right now in Nashville, a motion has been filed in the hearing on Monday over leaked documents in the Covenant school shooters' writings case. The Tennessee Star says CEO Patrick Leahy claims the judge hasn't followed the proper process in ordering him to court to explain how publishing the documents is not reason to start contempt of court proceedings against him. Judge Aisha Miles denying the motion, so the hearing's still on for Monday for now. And the former Metro cop who was fired for appearing in an OnlyFans website video is now facing felony charges. Sean Herman arrested yesterday at his home in Sumner County. He's charged with official misconduct because investigators claim the video of the mock traffic stop where a cop fondles a partially nude woman was created while Herman was on duty. Supposed to be on patrol instead of making adult videos. They say the video was made in April. Herman was fired on May 9th, and yesterday he was charged and arrested. Bond was set at $3,000. And the rising cost of a college education has Gen Zers looking to trade in a white-collar future for a blue-collar paycheck, and they're not leaving their social media savvy behind. Lionel Moise has more on one influencer sending shockwaves through the college-age workforce.
Lexia Brew is not your typical TikTok influencer.
I'm going to show you what happens when a breaker doesn't do its job and it doesn't trip.
She showcases the life of an electrician to her 2.2 million followers.
We're going to fix it. We're here to fix it.
A Brew's path is part of a larger trend with more young people turning to trades driven by competitive salaries and rising college costs.
I went to college for pre-med.
Last year, enrollment in trade-focused community colleges rose 16%, and the number of students studying construction trades rose 23%.
Now, it bears saying that a brew works 7 days a week and does take in a large part of her earnings from sponsors like Carhartt and Klein Tools. Good for her. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. Well, let me tell you something, friends. If you need new windows, you've got to call my friends at Window Nation. This is my window company. Now, you know that they put windows in my downstairs basement studio. Up next is going to be the kitchen and the bedroom. That is happening in the next couple of weeks, and this is why I love Window Nation. They're always giving you ways to save money. Like, for example, right now, a great deal. Call it the Dan deal. They're giving you 50% off of all windows, along with 0% interest for 5 years, plus an additional bonus savings offer when you schedule an appointment. You want to call them today. Window Nation, 866-90-NATION. This is going to make your house look a whole lot better and more comfortable. If your old windows leak water, have condensation, are moldy or rotten, it's getting hot to the touch, or you're just tired of paying high utility bills for heating and air conditioning, that is a big deal. So call them today for your free in-home consultation. There's no obligation, and get 50% off all windows, plus 0% interest for 5 years, and a bonus savings offer when you schedule your appointment today. 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com. 538, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time for the Gang of Three Amigos, brought to you by My Patriot Supply. Prepare with Mandis.com. Good morning, Ken Weaver. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, boys. Yes, I'm doing fine.
I'm Dan Mandis. That's Johnny B.
Hey, good morning, guys. I got to ask you, did you notice that, usually when we come in at these ungodly hours, that traffic is very light?
Mm-hmm.
This morning, I don't know if you noticed it, but it seemed like there was a lot of traffic, more than usual.
I did.
I did notice that.
Well, you know why?
Why is that?
Well, it hit me. There were two things that hit me. Number one, man, it's going to be super hot. And I went, oh, yeah, it's that time of year again. Oh, yeah, they're all in Manchester. Bonnaroo, baby.
That's what was happening.
Bonnaroo is happening, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's some sort of a concert, right?
Yeah, it's a big festival, Dad.
I know it's a big festival. I took my daughter to Bonnaroo.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
Lots of bad decisions being made down there in Coffee County.
Right now, there's somebody that's in a tent that may have a transistor radio, and they like us for some odd reason. They're going, dude, I love this music.
I guarantee you there's no one at Bonnaroo that's listening to me right now. That actually would be pretty funny because when did it start? Didn't it start on Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday, I think, is their first day.
And then it goes to the weekend.
Yes.
I have a feeling most of those Bonnaroo people, if they spent the night out there or whatever, because isn't it like Woodstock, you can spend the night?
Oh, yeah, you camp, and they always find a dead body like the following.
There's always... I bet you is it wrong to say? I wonder if the authorities, like out there, did they do like a guesstimation as to how many people are like an office pool? How many bodies we can end up with? Because sometimes
Probably.
it's like one or two. I mean, there's
goodness.
Yeah, they do when they're cleaning up. They find cadaver.
People that have taken the brown acid or whatever it is, and
well, hippies and heat. Boy, that just goes together so well.
Well, it's a lot of debauchery. And by the way, I stand corrected. I did not take my daughter to Bonnaroo. I took her to the Warped concert, the Vans Warped concert way back when.
Okay.
I think she wanted to go to Bonnaroo, and I think Dad, put his foot down on that one.
Dad said no way.
There's only so many things I could do for you, but that's sure as heck not one of them. And they always have interesting bands playing. It's very eclectic.
Yes, it is.
At Bonnaroo. I don't know who's playing this year.
Gary Clark Jr. is playing this year. I like him.
I do too. He is very good.
Also, Dr. Fresh.
They had Paul McCartney one year, I remember.
Yeah. Paul McCartney played at the...
Yeah, Paul McCartney played Bonnaroo.
Okay, yeah. I think did that Billy
Alice
Joel
Cooper did too.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Post Malone's playing this year.
All right.
It's funny. People are commenting on Bonnaroonies is what they call them.
Yes.
6205 Bonnaroonies. Johnny, you're a rock and roller from way back. You ever been to Bonnaroo?
No, I haven't. I've really had no. Festivals do not, unless you're going to play them. I think it'd be fun to play a festival if you're a musician.
Mm-hmm.
But to be out in the crowd, no. I don't want to be out in the elements for days.
Yeah.
Smelling other people and.
I wouldn't mind it in my late teens and early 20s.
Yeah, then I probably would have done it.
Yeah, you know
but
what?
Not in my mid 50s.
No.
In fact, my ex-wife wanted to go to Bonnaroo, and I that was just one argument we had. I said no.
That was one of them.
40. I don't see a couple of 40-year-old people going out to mid-40s going out and hanging out at Bonnaroo.
I bet you there's some older folks that are out there.
Oh, yeah. Sure there are.
I'm sure that there are.
Oh, there's old hippies out there.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if you got like a really good trailer or something, or I don't know what you call them, camper.
Yeah.
You got a camper, I mean, why not?
Oh, I'd do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I could have a camper and go out there, yeah, that'd be fun.
I think, though, that you do reach a certain age. I'm like this with sporting events and most concerts where it's like, you know what? If there's not a bathroom and a coffee pot within like 2 minutes of where I am at any given time, I'm not interested. Does that mean I'm too old?
No, it just means, we're selective. It's like I told someone that they were talking about William Lee Golden and doing his, he has the teepee. He used to. I don't think he does anymore.
Yeah.
But somebody asked me because they knew I liked William Lee Golden. They said, would you get in the teepee? And I said, You know, roughing it to me is no room service. That's roughing it.
There you go. That's exactly right.
That is roughing it, man.
Yeah,
no room service.
No room service,
baby.
Yeah, that is.
You know, my wife had never experienced room service till our honeymoon.
Really?
And man, it was like I opened a whole new world to her.
With room service.
Oh, that girl fell in love with room service.
Okay.
Oh, yes, she did.
So I want to get this straight. On your honeymoon, when your wife says, Johnny, you opened up whole new worlds for me on our honeymoon.
Yeah, baby.
You want her to stop right there.
Yes.
And not go on to say it was the room service.
Well,
I mean,
that was one of many things.
Okay, very good. Very good.
That's an interesting thing to start calling it, room service.
Yeah, room service, baby.
You ready for a little bit of room service, honey?
And I leave the tip.
That could be taken more ways than one, of course.
Okay, very well.
There's lots of room service going on in the winter over there across the street, I'll tell you that.
Leave me alone, I'm room servicing.
Yes.
Mr. John?
You know what? Friday night at the Mandis house, I'm knocking on Amy's door. Room service!
That's me. And
wait, honey, the door's locked. I got room service.
And it says, oh, do not disturb. Darn.
Room servicing.
With an added sign that says, this means you.
The silence tells me that the D&D is on the door.
Yes.
And it's already bedtime. But, honey, it's only 6 o'clock. That's okay. I'm going to bed. Good night. All right, moving right along from there.
Yeah.
How many? Let's see. I think both Johnny and I are going to be sleeping on the couch tonight.
I think so.
Ken, I think you're safe.
I don't know about that.
Donald Trump was on with Logan Paul, and he was asked about UFOs.
There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
Am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
So, of course, that's Donald Trump. He ultimately said that he's not a believer. In the news in the last couple of days, did you guys see this? Out of Harvard, they're speculating now that aliens could be living secretly among us. Now, we've all decided that Nancy Pelosi, or maybe it was just me, but Nancy Pelosi is one of those secret alien people.
I think Chuck Schumer is too.
Chuck Schumer, others as well. Oddly enough, for me, they're all Democrats. Not sure about Mitch McConnell. They say the sightings of UFOs may reflect activities, that they could be intelligent beings and they are concealed in stealth right here on Earth. They say the beings could be disguising themselves as humans to blend in and may have come from Earth's future or might have descended from intelligent dinosaurs, the research has now said. And third, they say that the hidden occupants here on Earth likened to earthbound angels or fairies on Earth that have traveled to Earth. So with all of that evidence, the big question is, does Donald Trump truly believe? And he says, nah.
I've never been convinced, even despite that. I just, for some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
Uh-oh.
I know there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of that. Those are the ones I know. When you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens?
That's what I love about Donald Trump.
Yeah. He's riffing, man.
Yeah, he is.
That's the thing.
I agree with him. What are they waiting for?
Exactly.
If there are aliens, what are they waiting for?
Yes.
Well, I know about illegal aliens, but I'm talking about space aliens.
Yeah, the illegal aliens, they're certainly not waiting, Ken.
No, they're not waiting.
No. But yeah, what are the space aliens waiting for?
Well, they're really not. I mean, there's one space alien, I believe, that is in the House of Representatives right now.
I want to begin by quoting the jury in the Manhattan hush money payment trial. Guilty Guilty.
Adam Schiff.
Oh,
Guilty.
yeah.
Oh, brother.
Just look at the eyes.
He does this 34 times.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
What a turd.
Guilty.
He really is.
Guilty. Guilty.
Like, he just keeps doing it.
Guilty.
And you can see the Republicans starting to, like, roll their eyes when they realize what he's doing.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Good
Guilty.
Lord.
Guilty.
This is what he did.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
It just keeps going 34 times.
I would have had him repeat it.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
As the
that for the
chair,
record?
I would have said, could you please repeat that?
He was complaining, of course, about how Donald, and there's a lot more audio that that he starts talking about Donald Trump and about truth in America. And when I heard Adam Schiff, and I've got the audio for later, but when I heard Adam Schiff, of all people, start talking about truth, I was like, are you kidding me? Really? This is the same guy that lied to America over and over and over again about Russian collusion.
In fact, I'd say he's guilty, guilty, guilty. I can't go on. Sorry.
Well, the funny thing is when he was doing this and when he's talking about, how Trump is guilty of all of these things, the Democrats, they continue to sort of operate under this ill-conceived notion that the American people are all on board with the guilty verdict in the hush money case, when the reality is most people know that it was bogus. And so Schiff, that is just, this really is, you know what this is, the hush money trial, guilty verdicts? This really is just another version of Russian collusion. And that's what it seems like to me, because it's really based on nothing. It was an unfair trial. It was a crooked and corrupt, and as Donald Trump said many times, a conflicted judge as well. And so the longer that they go on with this and the longer that they continue on with this narrative, Adam Schiff saying the same word, guilty, 34 times. You keep going with that while everything else in America is going to hell in a handbasket, like, Donald Trump talking about illegal immigration, the economy, and all of these other things. Longer they go on with all of this stuff, the more the American people are going to say, really, what is, what are your priorities?
Well, they have
Democrat
to, man,
Party?
because it's all they have. Otherwise, they've got to give up, dude. And they're not going to give up.
No.
So they've got to do this.
Yeah, and
I want to begin by quoting the jury in the Manhattan hush money payment trial.
Right. All right.
Guilty. Guilty.
they're just guilty of being dumb.
I seriously, as chair, I would have made him repeat it.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Several times.
That would have been so funny.
Guilty.
Whatever.
Gosh, he is.
He's just a turd bucket.
Him and Joy Behar comes to mind.
That one time when I was in the elevator, I told you when I went to the State of the Union.
Yes.
And I was in that elevator with Congressman Scott Desjardins, and Adam frickin' Schiff walks into the elevator. Man, I was that close.
Oh, man.
It was like, but I didn't want to embarrass the congressman.
Right.
What were you going to do, Brother Dan?
I was going to call him a turd bucket.
I still loved late Phil Valentine when we were going up the escalator in Boston and Howard Dean's coming down with his people. And right when we get side by side, Phil goes, "Ah!" Oh, he got a dirty look.
See, if I saw Adam Schiff anywhere else and I wasn't with a congressman,
yes,
I would actually probably say something. I would, because I have so little respect for these people.
I'd probably go, "Hey, Blink.
We're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House."
Hey, Dan.
Yeah?
I've got a special request. I think Kim would back me up on this. Do you have the poop song ready?
The poop song.
Yes, the Biden poop song.
You know what? I know that we all love the Biden poop song.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of requests for it. So let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
no, you know what? Well, it's okay.
All right.
It's okay. You know what? This is why we need planning on this show.
Well,
I know we did. We talked.
did.
Just go with it, Johnny. Just go
I'm
with it.
trying to go with it.
No, listen, that's okay. upon demand.
Power at all costs.
Let's listen to the.
What else can explain what it would profit them to give up their political soul?
You know, it's funny. We got Adam Schiff playing with the Biden poop song.
In my White House, he had to scoop Biden poop. Even presidents be the party in the Oval Office, busy as a bee. Joe felt to grumble about heat, but then he realized with a little swoop, it was time for a Biden poop. Biden poop, Biden poop. In the White House, he had to scoop Biden poop.
There we go. Biden poop. There you go. We do requests here on Nashville's Morning News.
That's what we love about
especially
you,
about
Don.
doo-doo. We do requests about doo-doo.
Don, I love that song. Thank you.
I wonder if the Biden people have heard that song.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
They probably play it and laugh like we do.
Yeah, behind.
Oh, you know what? They probably do.
In fact, at the Obama house, they probably invite Jay-Z and Beyonce over and listen to it.
Hey, Jay-Z, listen to this.
Look what Biden did this time.
All right, 5:54 on Super Talk 99.7. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
State of emergency remains in place for life-threatening flooding in southern Florida. Got a Covenant school shooters writings case update, and that Metro police officer fired for being in an adult video is now facing felony charges. Coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Here's one for you. It's going to get red hot today. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. State of emergency still in place for southern parts of Florida. Here's Victor Oquendo.
The National Weather Service warning of new catastrophic floods after a tropical fuel deluge that swamped whole neighborhoods in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, forcing the shutdown of part of I-95 and stranding vehicles everywhere. Leo Alonso telling me he's towed dozens of vehicles.
One call after another.
I don't even answer anymore.
Really?
I don't even answer. It's too much.
Homeowners in this Fort Lauderdale neighborhood trying in vain to keep the water out of their homes.
I just bought this house.
Marcus Vitale has only lived here 8 months.
Here in Nashville, Covenant School shooters writings case update. The Tennessee Star says the judge has denied a motion by its editor and CEO, Michael Leahy, to give him more time to prepare before a hearing on Monday. Judge Aisha Miles has ordered Leahy to court on Monday to explain how publishing what he says are leaked documents from the shooter is not a violation of her order after a previous leak. She could charge Leahy with contempt of court, but Leahy's motion claims the judge hasn't followed proper procedure by not giving complete information and enough time to prepare. She again has denied that motion, so Monday's hearing is still on. A Metro police officer who was fired for appearing in an adult video on the website OnlyFans is now facing felony charges. Sean Herman was arrested at his home in Sumner County yesterday and charged with official misconduct. Authorities claim he was on duty at the time the video of a mock traffic stop involving a partially nude woman getting fondled was created. That video was made in April. He was fired on May 9th, and then yesterday came his arrest. Bond was set at $3,000. And a former Middle Tennessee elementary school teacher on TBI's most wanted list. A reward of up to $2,500 if anyone has information leading to an arrest and conviction. News 2 says a post to X, formerly Twitter, said 54-year-old Jonathan Ulrich, former Fairview elementary school teacher, cut off his ankle monitor while out on bond following a December 2022 indictment for charges including rape of a child and incest. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Jim Ryan.
Stocks head into the end of the week mixed as traders digest signals from the Fed that just one interest rate cut is likely this year. The Nasdaq and S&P both finished at new record highs yesterday. The Dow Jones slipped 65 points and closed at 38,647. Adobe shares jumped 17% overnight after the software maker topped expectations for the top and bottom lines. Adobe's revenue grew 10% year over year in the quarter, which ended on May 31st. Elon Musk called it. Tesla shareholders have approved a $56 billion pay package for their CEO. A judge previously blocked the 2018 deal. This vote doesn't override that, but could give Tesla's lawyers new leverage in challenging the ruling. Taylor Swift's 3 nights of sold-out concerts in Edinburgh last weekend pumped an estimated $1.25 billion into the Scottish economy. The stage show and enthusiastic crowd triggered earthquake readings nearly 4 miles from the venue.
All right, Dow futures are up 83, S&P down 28, NASDAQ futures up 213. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Information fueled.
Opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
We talk news.
6:07, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on into your Friday, June 14th, and I hope you have a great weekend. Going to be really hot today. You just heard highs in the mid-90s. Going to feel like it's in the triple digits. So I don't know if you've seen the video out there. It's gone viral. President Joe Biden, he went a-wandering. He did. He was in Italy, I guess, the G7. I think that's where it is in Italy. But he's out, I don't know where it is, like a field or something. But he and a whole bunch of other world leaders are there, and they're watching these skydivers come in, and the skydivers land. And for whatever reason, Biden just decided, everybody was in a group, and the president just decided to start wandering away. And it was so bad that Italy's Prime Minister Meloni, she had to go retrieve him. And the video just, it went crazy viral yesterday. You can see it, by the way, on my Twitter feed, at Dan Mandis Show. And in fairness to the president, he was looking, I guess, at one of these skydivers, and he was putting his parachute, I guess, back in the pack or whatever it is. But, it's just, there was a skydiver right in front of the group. And so for Biden, it looks like he just started wandering and then just sort of meekly gave the other skydiver a thumbs up. But the problem is that this kind of thing keeps happening. You can see that again on my Twitter feed. Then consider this headline. You ready? Half of voters expect Joe Biden to forget where he is during the first debate in Atlanta. And they also expect the president to walk off the wrong side of the stage. So the American people have really, let's just be honest, the American people have no faith in their president whatsoever. And so they did this poll, and they were asking, okay, so what do you think is going to happen at the debate? And they started asking folks. 8 in 10 expect Donald Trump to interrupt Joe Biden. 7 in 10 expect Biden to mess up his words. They say that 61% believe that Donald Trump will tell a rambling story. They say that 54% believe Donald Trump's mic will be cut off. You've got, again, 49% believing that Biden will forget where he is. 41% Biden is going to walk off the wrong side of the stage. And Biden will also have problems standing up. 40% believe that the president will have problems standing up. So it's clear, and we've seen poll after poll after poll. This one was specific to the debate. And listen, you do expect Donald Trump to interrupt Joe Biden because that's what happens during debates. And there's nothing wrong with that. And for the 79 people that were polled that said that Trump will interrupt Biden, well, it's like, so? Donald Trump will tell a rambling story. That depends on who you ask and what the definition of rambling is. But when you look at all of the issues that Biden has, and the fact that you have, 75, 80% of the American people believe that the president have cognitive issues. But when I saw this, and there's other polling out there today that'll tell you the same thing about Joe Biden and his mental acuity. But when I saw this particular headline, where 49%, roughly half the American people believe that the president will forget where he is, I was reminded of the audio that I played for you yesterday from Morning Joe, where they were lying to their viewers about Joe Biden's cognitive ability.
And yet Biden is constantly covered for being old, but yet travels onto the world stage doing speeches, dinners, important ceremonies, recognizing people who suffered and survived D-Day, spending time with them, connecting with them. You see it all on video.
Pooping his pants.
Except if you go to these places or you talk to those Republicans, you see the one time where he couldn't find his chair.
Well, but even
Or
that
it's
was
doctored.
a lie. It's disinformation. It's doctored.
This is where we are right now.
It's lies versus the truth. It really is. And let Republicans keep lying about Joe Biden. It's only going to help him in the end. It's only going to lower expectations so much that he's going to come out and do what he does at every State of the Union address. He's going to outperform because of all the lies that are told about him.
So number one, I don't believe, I will tell you that I believe that, as I said yesterday, Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, I believe that they are lying to their viewers, but whatever. They do have a point, though, when they talk about the low expectations of Joe Biden, because you have all of these folks all across America, including Donald Trump.
We have a low IQ individual as our president.
And a lot of people, I will not say, and I've said this before, I've been very consistent, I don't believe that Joe Biden is low IQ. I believe that he has beginning Alzheimer's. I think that it's clear that he is lacking in mental acuity. So that's going to be part of the discussion, is you do have a situation in America where people do have incredibly low expectations of Joe Biden. And so when he does come in and they pump him full of whatever they pump him up with when he's got to do one of these debates or whatever it is, here's the deal. If he even performs moderately well, if he doesn't fall off the stage, if he doesn't fall asleep in the middle of the debate, if he doesn't go number 2 in his pants, well, then it's going to be a success for Joe Biden. But see, that is how little the American people feel about Joe Biden.
We have a low IQ individual as our president.
Now, who do you believe the American people believe will win the debate coming up on June 27th? You're not going to be surprised when I tell you the answer, but that is coming up, as well as a whole lot more straight ahead. It is Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time to check the roadways. .6:15, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. As far as your weather goes, partly cloudy today, high of 94. Sunny this weekend, highs in the mid-90s. And, we're talking about feels like in the triple digits. So definitely be careful, and appreciate you listening to Super Talk 99.7, where it is 68 degrees. So who do you think the American people believe will win the debate on the 27th? I just set it up that a lot of Americans believe that Biden is going to forget where he is. He's going to get lost on the stage. Who knows what's going to happen? 50% of the American people believe that Donald Trump is going to win the debate. That is all people. 50% believe that Donald Trump will win the debate. 39% believe that Joe Biden will win the debate.
We have a low IQ individual as our president.
52% of men believe that Donald Trump is going to win the debate. 36% of men believe that Joe Biden will win the debate. As far as females go, 48% for Trump, 42% for Biden. Is there anyone who believes that Joe Biden is going to win this debate? It looks like basically only Democrats believe that Joe Biden is going to win the debate. You've got 80% of Democrats believe that Biden is going to win the debate. 13% of those Democrats believe that Donald Trump will win the debate. Obviously, more Republicans. 90% of Republicans believe that Trump will win the debate on the 27th, and it just goes on and on. So, for me, I think it's obvious that there is no confidence in the president, and it's not surprising based on what we've seen time and time and time again. By the way, the former president, Donald Trump, if you find me on Twitter at Dan Mandis Show, you will see the very latest online commercial that Donald Trump has put out, and it is set to music, and it is set to fireworks, and it's very dramatic, and it is timeless quotes by your president, Joe Biden.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured. We'll never forget lying around and him lying around, actually. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden. I mean, people are calling this, it is a brutal takedown of Joe Biden.
End of quote and repeat the line.
Repeat the line. You know what I like? Do you know what I like, though, about that one part is the
men who do so, end of quote. Repeat the line.
Is that he says repeat the line.
Repeat the line.
With such feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I bet you when he said
repeat the line.
Yeah. He's like, I really crushed that one line.
Yeah.
Repeat the line. I said it with feeling.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't repeat the line.
Yep.
The idea. I wouldn't repeat the line. Say it again. Seriously.
Oh, man. And do you know what makes those ads so effective and impactful? Is that Trump doesn't have to say anything.
No.
It's all said with Joe Biden's words and lack of coherence and a lack of a coherent message. You know, it's interesting. Charlemagne was on, I think it was The Daily Show. I think he was hosting The Daily Show. And he actually had a really good point about Democrats.
Before Democrats even worry about explaining their side of an issue, they need to learn something more basic. How to talk like real people. Yeah. And I'm sure that's possible. Yeah. And I'm sure that's possible because you know who's good at it? Those nut-ass Republicans.
The Biden administration sucks.
They're communists, they're Marxists, they're radical left Democrats. They're sick people.
There were riots burning down the country over George Floyd.
Same with Donald Trump. He is a guy who knows what he wants and knows how to get it. The message is terrible, but it's clear. When he says, build the wall, lock her up, I hate sharks, no one goes, I wonder what he means.
I mean, listen.
Folks appreciate when someone sounds authentic, even if their ideas are terrible.
All right, so obviously most of us disagree on what Charlemagne believes about Donald Trump's policies, but he is right. When you look at, Biden and some of these other Democrats, I mean, you could talk about Kamala Harris, any number of Democrats where they simply, one, they speak in politicsese. That's number one. And number two, they don't seem like real people. And say what you want about Donald Trump, the dude is authentic. And that's one of the reasons why in the first election, it was clear that he was sending out his own tweets, for example. Joe Biden can't put two words together, as has been evidenced by, this segment. That's number one. Number two, he is embarrassing America on the world stage. And again, that's something that seems to be happening over and over again. And so when Charlemagne says, you have to be authentic, I just don't know if there's a lot of authenticity within the Democrat Party. You look at what they stand for, and you look at how a lot of the Democrats are, for example, pro-Hamas and pro-open border. That is not authentic. That is insanity. But that's what the Democrats stand for. And so you've got that. You've got the president that simply can't put two words together and seems to wander at every turn. We don't know what happened on that D-Day stage. And yet you have Donald Trump. He is able to do anything. He can talk about UFOs. He can talk about foreign policy. He can talk about music. He can most certainly talk about life here in America and what we are going through. That is why Donald Trump is connecting with the American people, and Joe Biden and the Democrats, at least right now, simply are not. We'll have to wait and see what happens during the election on November 5th. And don't forget early voting. But right now, Charlemagne, believe it or not, I believe, has a good point. What do you think? The super text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. That Morning Joe clip, I got to tell you, I was so offended by that because as somebody who does talk radio and they do sort of, I talk TV, it's kind of sort of related. I find it that they lie to their audience, and I find that so incredibly offensive because to me, that breaks every tenet of being, a talk show host or a journalist is you're lying. And there is no debate about what is happening with Joe Biden. There simply is not. You are either blinded by your TDS or you are suffering from whatever Joe Biden is suffering from. It is 6:23 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Okay, coming up at 6:35, Congressman Andy Ogles was in the room when former President Donald Trump met with Republicans. I don't know if he saw the handshake that CNN spent roughly, I think, 10 minutes talking about this morning, the handshake between Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell, where CNN spent so much time on it because the Republican Party is unified. CNN is positioning it as a bad thing. I'm positioning it as a good thing. We'll speak to Congressman Andy Ogles coming up at 6:35 on Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mandis here. One of the biggest issues that can impact your home and your health is mold. Now, lucky for you, United Structural Systems is offering you $500 for the best mold treatment available today. Now, they've got a certified team that is going to locate that mold in your crawl space. And yes, they're going to get rid of it permanently. Now, right now, they're offering you, again, $500 off as well because USS is always looking out for you. You can call it the Dan deal. You mention my name, you're going to get that $500 off. Now, they're home to their 3-step RTE process. They remove the mold, they treat the area so that it doesn't come back, and then they encapsulate your crawl space to keep it dry and mold-free. Get more information at their website. It's USSTN.com, USSTN.com. And don't forget to mention my name and get $500 off. It is 6:24 on Nashville's Morning News. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
Life-threatening floods persist in southern Florida. Covenant school shooters writings case update. Former Metro cop and an adult OnlyFans website videos now facing felony charges. A self-promoted life coach indicted on sex crimes in Middle Tennessee. And you got to hear a Utah dad deliver his twins at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
News with Ken Weaver coming up next. You want a summer without limits? Think about unlimited shade and unlimited privacy with Moon Valley Nurseries. Listen, if you'd like more privacy in your backyard, Moon Valley Nurseries, they're planting all summer long. Their privacy-geared trees and those hedges can give you the privacy you want this summer and keep your backyard shady as well. Now, summer, of course, is more fun with privacy and shade. Check out how to make that happen at moonvalleynurseries.com. These are trees that'll thrive in our climate and in your backyard. So check these folks out today, moonvalleynurseries.com. Their packages are customized for your backyard and your budget. Again, check them out today at moonvalleynurseries.com. Now, if you're not sure what you want to do, but you know that you need to do something, find them online, reach out, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. They've got all kinds of great ideas for privacy, shade, and your overall comfort. moonvalleynurseries.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Gonna get hot and more humid today. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. State of emergency remains in southern Florida for life-threatening flooding. Victor Oquendo says it's so bad, tow truck drivers are giving up.
How many cars do you think you've towed?
Says yesterday, probably 60.
Does the phone just not stop ringing right now?
It just keeps going.
One call after another.
I don't even answer anymore.
Really?
I don't even answer. It's too much.
Parts of southern Florida getting up to 2 feet of rain over the past 2 days, and it's still raining. Right now in Nashville, a motion's been filed in the hearing on Monday over leaked documents in the Covenant school shooters writings case. The Tennessee Star says CEO Patrick Leahy claims the judge hasn't followed the proper process in ordering him to court to explain how publishing these documents is not reason to start contempt of court proceedings against him. Judge Aisha Miles denying the motion, so the hearing's still on for Monday. And the former Metro cop who was fired for appearing in an adult video on the OnlyFans website is now facing felony charges. Sean Herman was arrested yesterday at his home in Sumner County. He's charged with official misconduct because investigators claim the video of the mock traffic stop where a cop fondled a partially nude woman was created while Herman was on duty. He's supposed to be on patrol instead of making videos. They say the video was made in April. Herman was fired on May 9th, and yesterday he was charged and arrested. Bond set at $3,000. And right now in Franklin, a man who promoted himself as a life coach is behind bars, charged with identity theft and sex crimes. Williamson County grand jury returned a 25-count indictment on June 5th against 61-year-old Gordon Grigg. The alleged crimes involve rape of a child and bestiality. His bond was set at $1 million. And a 911 dispatcher in Utah helped deliver twin babies over the phone, born within minutes of one another. Michelle Frenzen with more.
A Utah dad doing double duty, delivering his twins with the help of a 911 dispatcher.
And I don't know which number to call.
Matt and Mary Harris say they were packing their bags to head to the hospital, but the babies had different plans. Harris telling the dispatcher they would not make it in time. The 911 dispatcher guiding dad to deliver each baby. One of the twins was in the breech position.
As the second baby delivers, I want you to support
the mother giving birth to 2 girls named Lillian and Clara, and giving dad the gift of bragging rights for Father's Day.
That is the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. 634, Nashville's Morning News. Listen, last couple of months, man, it has been dicey as far as the weather goes. And so you need to be power outage ready, which is why you need to get in touch with my friends at Cove Generators and get a backup home standby generator. Now, right now, listeners to my show get a updated and free 10-year warranty and $500 off when you mention my name, Dan Mandis, when you call Cove Generators. Now, they are your premier Generac home standby generator dealer here in the state of Tennessee. So you want to check him out. Call him today. My buddy Generator Dave is always standing by. He's going to answer whatever questions you may have about home standby generators from Cove Generators. They also offer you financing so that you can be ready for the next power outage. And again, remember that great deal, a free upgraded 10-year warranty, $500 off when you mention my name. 931-559-3311, 931-559-3311, covegenerators.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
.639 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Big day in Washington, D.C. yesterday as former President Donald Trump, returns to the Capitol.
I want to thank everybody here. You're all either elected or you're going to be elected again and reelected, and I'm with every one of you, and you know that. I'll be with you always. And thank you very much for inviting me. And this is an outstanding group of people. I'm with them 1,000%. They're with me 1,000%. We agree just about on everything. And if there isn't, we work it out. And we have one thing in mind, and that's making our country great. So thank you all very much. We appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Congressman Andy Ogles was part of the contingent that met with former President Donald Trump. And I think it was all about unity, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the president had a clear message that the enemy is in November. It's the Biden administration, and but also it was about what do we do in that first 100 days? So when you look back to Trump's first administration, there wasn't necessarily an expectation he would win, so they were kind of slow to get started. So it's like, we have a lot of work to get done and to fix that Joe Biden has broken. So what do you do in the first 100 days? So there was a lot of policy content in the conversation as well.
I love to hear that. And one of the things that I noticed CNN, I mean, they just obsessed over this. And so I, of course, obsessed over their obsession last hour, because they were reporting about the handshake. And it was the handshake with Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell. And they were shocked that Mitch McConnell would actually shake hands with Donald Trump. Chuck Schumer, of course, over on the other side of the aisle, said that McConnell should have had the courage not to show up. I think there's some jealousy on the other side of the aisle. I think the Democrats are jealous of the unity that the Republicans are now showing, because there is absolutely nothing unified about the Democrats right now. What say you?
Well, I think part of it, too, is there's this realization. So, currently you have divided government. So we have the House, they have the Senate and the White House. And when you look at the polling across the country, the 10 battleground states, if you will, President Trump is leading in all of those. I'll say that again. President Trump is leading in all of the battleground states. And so the Democrats know that they screwed up on the border. They overstepped their bounds on the transgender issue. So there's so many issues over and over again where they went too far. They betrayed the American people. We're going to win the House again. We're going to increase our margin. We're going to win the Senate. I mean, that's a foregone conclusion, and we're going to win the White House. And so they have this realization that suddenly they're going to lose power. The agenda that they've been trying to cram down the American people's throats is going to be stripped away, and we're going to do our part to right the ship. Now, with that power comes responsibility. Like we've got to fix the immigration issue. We've got to start deporting people. We've got to reverse this flow of people coming into the southern border. How do you clean up the streets? I mean, we literally have caught terrorists now in our country who were planning an attack. We know we've caught over 300 individuals on the terror watch list at the southern border, but now we actually caught them planning an attack on U.S. soil. And so the world's not a safe place. We have nuclear subs off the coast of Florida. Oh, my goodness, that would have never happened under Trump.
Right.
And they know that we are going to come, and we're going to come with force. We're going to come to bear, and we're going to fix everything that they've undone.
Congressman Andy Ogles joining us on the Newsmaker Hotline. Flag Day, by the way, across Middle Tennessee and America. Going to talk about that a little bit more in the 7 o'clock hour. Congressman, let me ask you this. When you talk about the first 100 days, the Democrats and the media are obsessed with this notion that Donald Trump is going to go after, certain elements within the DOJ. He's going to go after his political enemies and so forth. And they're obsessed over this notion of revenge. Now, folks who listen to me know that I believe that if there's some mud and some muck that needs to be scraped away, then if that's what revenge looks like, okay, well, then that's what needs to happen. But in your conversations with the president and the conversations among the Republicans in the House and in the Senate as well, is there any discussion among the rank and file of this revenge?
No, it's not about revenge. It's about restoring justice in this country. We all see with our own eyes, whether you like Donald Trump or you don't like Donald Trump, that we have a two-tier justice system now. I mean, they're literally, persecuting a former president so that they can try to keep him off the campaign trail, so that they hope he won't be electable. And that's a scary time, I think, historically in our country, that's what's taking place. And it's going to take more than scraping away at the Justice Department. It's going to take a big shovel, if not a backhoe, to get rid of all the BS that's there. But that being said, justice is blind. It should be blind. It should be applied evenly, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're a conservative or a liberal. It has to be blind. And currently right now, again, this sideshow with Hunter Biden and the gun and the prostitute and all this other stuff, that's a distraction from the real issue that the Biden crime family has taken tens of millions of dollars.
Yep.
If you and I did that from foreign governments, we'd be in prison, right? Tens of millions of dollars from foreign governments to influence policy in the United States of America. You can't do that. But Biden's gotten away with it. He's going to get away with it. And so, but meanwhile, they're going to persecute Donald Trump on these bogus cases in Georgia, New York, and everywhere else. And we've got to fix that. And so it's not about retribution. It's about justice. It's about making justice blind again.
And that is exactly what needs to be said. And that is exactly what needs to be done. 6:45 on Nashville's Morning News with Congressman Andy Ogles. Time to check the roads on WTN. Thank you, Jack. Partly cloudy today, a high of 94. Going to feel like triple digits. Sunny this weekend, highs in the mid-90s. Right now, 69 degrees at Super Talk 99.7. Congressman Andy Ogles is joining us on the Newsmaker Hotline. So let me ask you, Congressman, one of the things that I noticed that Donald Trump said in that soundbite that I played for you was if there's things that we disagree on, well, then we have to basically, and I'm going to air quote here, work it out, figure it out, come to some sort of an agreement. One of the big topics of conversations amongst conservatives and Republicans is abortion. CNN is reporting, and I don't know if this is true or not, but CNN is reporting that Donald Trump said that Republicans have to talk about abortion the right way. And I'm, again, air quoting that. What was the conversation about abortion? I think we would all agree that this is a topic and an issue that Republicans don't necessarily all agree on.
Yeah, so I think when he talked about that issue, he talked about it in the context of In some areas of the country, that is still going to be an issue, a hot button issue, a topic of conversation. And that was said in the context of this last election where there was purportedly going to be a red wave and it just didn't materialize. And arguably, to the president's point, to your point, that the abortion issue became the topic of conversation and it was weaponized against Republicans. And so what Donald Trump said was that, look, Roe versus Wade has been overturned. It's been pushed back to the states where it belongs. It's a states' rights issue. And then he said that, you have to look at this from the perspective of protecting the mom and rape and incest and that sort of thing, and as far as those types of exclusions. But he said it more in, and I hate to say it this way, but kind of in a passing content or context, because I believe, and I think I say this with confidence for him, that this election is going to be about immigration, and it's going to be a pocketbook election. Because when you look at, crime is going up across the country. You've got Democrat mayors across the country screaming for help, funds to address crime, to reverse the flow of immigrants, the fentanyl issue. Then you see the inflation problem. At first, at the beginning of the year, you were looking at, or the Fed was looking at cutting rates 3 times through the course of the year. Now they're signaling at best it'll be one small cut. So you're not going to get a lot of interest rate help between now and the election. The price of oil was $40, give or take, under Trump, and now it's much higher. So you're not going to get a lot of help at the pump and at the grocery store between now and the election. And so people are feeling that. And anecdotally, so you look at the polls and Trump is leading all over. So we can discuss whether you trust the polls or not, right? But in New Jersey, he just had 107,000 people show up at a rally. Now, if you said in Nashville or Knoxville or parts of Florida that he had 100,000 people show up, it would still be quite impressive, but it would be in the South.
Yeah.
In freaking New Jersey, he had over 100,000 people show up at a rally. There's something taking place in this country, but it's a visceral reaction to immigration. And there's a CBS poll that says that 62% of Americans, voters, think that anyone who is in this country, who is coming to this country illegally, should be deported. And so they're looking to Republicans to fix the things that are broken, which is why I'm cautiously optimistic that we win the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Speaking of broken, let's talk about Joe Biden's brain. You have come out. See what I did there? You have come out with a new piece of legislation, and it's related to Joe Biden, and it's called the No Juicing Joe Act. Talk about that.
Well, so I want to be polite here as best that I can. So the G7 is taking place, and if you haven't seen this video, you can go to Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
I tweeted it out at Dan Mandis Show.
Yeah, so go watch this video for yourself. So again, whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump, right? Like, so I'll paint the picture. There's a guy, he's pulling the balloon in. You've got all these leaders, the presidents and the prime ministers from this country, and then Joe Biden starts to wander off. And it's not like there's somebody over here that's calling him. He's wandering off. And so these prime ministers start kind of trying to close the gap between Joe Biden and this gaggle of world leaders. And finally, they move the epicenter of this leadership gaggle, and they encircle the president of the free world, and the prime minister of Britain starts talking to him to keep him focused. I mean, this guy doesn't know where he is most of the time. And so what I did was put forward a bill that says, look, if you're going to give the president of the United States some sort of mind-altering cocktail to American people, Congress has a right to know, and you have to disclose that to the American people.
All right. Andy Ogles, Congressman Andy Ogles, as always, thank you for joining us here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and looking forward to speaking to you again soon. Have a great weekend. There's a number of things that are going on, and we're going to continue to cover them for you here on Nashville's Morning News. The News with Ken Weaver is also coming up at 7 o'clock. Why should you go to NetSuite's Business Grows Here event? Well, number one, it's a great place to make contacts. There's going to be all kinds of people there that are leaders in not only our city of Nashville, but in the world of business as well. And number two, the speakers. You've got Burke Nihill, who is the CEO of the Titans, Jamie Siminoff, founder of Ring Video Doorbell, among many others. This is going to be a fantastic event. They also have some great breakout sessions as well, learning from the absolute best on how to raise capital, doing business in Tennessee, strategies and lessons learned along the way, and they'll be talking about the growth of Nashville on the East Bank. Now, if you'd like to go, it is happening at the Conrad Hotel. It's going to be Tuesday, June 25th. It is absolutely free. Go to netsuite.com/Nashville. That's netsuite.com/Nashville. Tell them you heard about them on WTN and Nashville's Morning News. Listen, lives can be changed and businesses can be created. So sign up today. Again, this is a great event. netsuite.com/Nashville. 6:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news at 7?
We're going to tell you about nonstop rain and rescues. Abortion pill challenges persist. A motion filed in the Covenant school shooters' writings case. And a warning to anyone thinking of renting out a home to vacationers at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
7 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. More heat and humidity today. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Non-stop rain and rescues in southern Florida. Victor Oquendo right in the middle of it.
Relentless extreme rain and life-threatening flooding soaks the area. Emergency crews say they're doing all they can to keep up.
We performed 5 rescues and rescued about 7 or 8 people utilizing our boats.
Towing companies working overtime.
What time did you start today?
We started yesterday.
And you haven't stopped since?
We haven't stopped.
You've gone through the night?
Through the night.
That tow truck driver says he actually stopped answering calls after 60 tows. For now, the abortion pill mifepristone is available without seeing a doctor and can be delivered in the mail after yesterday's U.S. Supreme Court ruling that a group of pro-life doctors don't have legal standing to challenge it simply because they're anti-abortion. Terry Moran says the battle isn't over.
3 states, Idaho, Kansas, and Missouri, have already filed suit against the FDA over the agency's actions on mifepristone. They say the agency's actions impact their state budgets and interfere with their state laws, and that case could get up to the Supreme Court perhaps within a year or two.
Here in Nashville, the Tennessee Star says the judge overseeing the Covenant school shooter's writings case has denied a motion filed ahead of a hearing on Monday, which could see its CEO charged with contempt of court. Michael Leahy claims in the motion that proper procedure wasn't followed by Judge Aisha Miles, who's ordering Leahy to explain how he's not in contempt of court by publishing what he claims are pages of writings from the shooter leaked to him by a source close to the investigation. Leahy says he's simply reporting the news. Judge Miles, after the first document leak, vowed to impose contempt of court charges if there was another leak. And here's a story if you're looking to rent out your home to vacationers this summer. Andrea Fujii reports.
Airbnb warns hosts if a guest stays a month or longer, local tenancy laws could protect them.
I have to wait 10 more days to get them out.
Farazan Rahman went to court to get guests out of her Durham, North Carolina rental. They left a note outside the door saying, "We are legal residents of this home." A judge saying the squatters have to go.
Good that I was granted eviction.
Airbnb saying issues like this are very rare, and our team is continuing to work with our hosts to provide support.
Yeah, here in Nashville, Music City hosts raked in more than $260 million from visitors from all over in 2022, according to Airbnb. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Right now, Dow futures up 114, S&P futures down 26, NASDAQ futures up 209. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Information fueled.
Opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
7:07 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you. Flag Day across Middle Tennessee in America. Also, Johnny just told me not only is it Flag Day, it's Donald Trump's birthday.
Your favorite president?
You know, Johnny, that's actually pretty good. Johnny, so Ken, I don't know if you're keeping track, but Johnny can do a really good Biden, and I mean, that's a pretty good Donald Trump too, Johnny.
Thank you, my friend.
Hopefully we'll have, 4 years where we can utilize your Trump impressions.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, in my house,
my bank account hopes so.
In my house, down in my basement studio, is one of my absolute prized possessions. And it is the American flag that my dad, as a veteran, had on his coffin. And they did the whole thing. It's folded and all that. And I mean, it's incredible. And so the one place that I go every day, and I spend, sadly, the majority of my time, is my basement, because I've got a massive TV down there. I've also got my studio down there. And so when my wife asked, when we moved into our new home, where would you like the flag? And I thought, I think I'd probably like it down in the basement where I spend most of my time. That way there's sort of a piece of my father always with me. But it's not just that flag that means a lot to me. I mean, it is the flag that means a lot to me. And the flag, for me and for, millions of Americans, it represents something. And the problem that we have here in America today is that a lot of those things that the flag represents are just diminished. I mean, whether we're talking about our sovereignty, our way of life, our currency, I mean, I could go on and on, our freedoms.
Exactly.
So on this Flag Day, not only do I, remember and honor, my father and the flag in our military, but I also remember what it was like 3.5 years ago when Donald Trump walked out of the White House and how great our country was. And then when Joe Biden takes the oath of office and starts executive ordering, us into oblivion, which is what I like to say all the time. And I understand why people are turning their flags upside down. I totally get it. And, some people get really, upset when other folks do that. But listen, our country is at peril. It is. And so it's perfectly understandable that people would want to turn their flag upside down. But for me, happy birthday to Donald Trump. Flag Day as well across Middle Tennessee, as I said. And, when flags, and I've gone through this, when flags get, sort of no longer in the proper condition, you got to figure out what to do with them, right? And I've had this happen to me where many years ago I had a flag and it was hanging out in front of my house and it just got battered. I mean, it was just storms and rain and so forth, and it just got battered. And I wasn't sure what to do with it because you don't want to throw it away. I'm one of those people that I don't want a flag to touch the ground, right? That's me. Because the flag means so much to me, because my country means so much to me. And it's really what drives me every single day here on Nashville's Morning News as a conservative talk show host. And so I had a neighbor, and the neighbor was a veteran, Ed. I've spoken about Ed before. And I had Ed as the neighbor, and he came out one time and he started chiding me about my flag because it didn't look very good. And I told him I don't know what to do with it. And that was the first time that I'd ever heard about the flag retirement ceremonies that they have. And so today, another reminder, I've told you about this, I think, twice before, but there's going to be a flag retirement ceremony at American Legion Post 75 today in Portland, Tennessee. And again, that's going to be 7:45 tonight. This ceremony, they say, is second to none. And so if you've got a flag that needs to be retired, bring them on down to 107 Legion Drive, again, in Portland. And if you have a flag that, has done its duty and now it's time to retire that flag, I'm reasonably certain that they're probably having some flag retirement ceremonies, perhaps across Middle Tennessee. I'm not sure. But anyway, that is one way, these flag retirement ceremonies, to not only honor the flag, but also if it's time to replace that flag and get a new one, that gives you the opportunity to give your old flag a proper retirement. So, yeah. Every time I look at that flag down in my basement, I think of my dad. And that's one of the reasons why, I keep it down there, because when I go down the stairs, it is one of the first things that I see every single morning. And every day I come on the air and I want to make my dad proud. So anyway, 7:13, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Speaking of which, where on this Flag Day, many of us would be flying our flags upside down. Did you hear what Joe Biden said? He actually said, I thought this was kind of funny. He actually accused the media of not playing by the rules. And so as you can imagine, the media had quite the guffaw over that. This is the moment that it happened.
And what is your message to allies, including those here at the G7, about what more, if anything, the U.S. can do to drive towards a peace agreement? Thank you.
All right, so the reporter, he's from, I think, Bloomberg, and he was asking, that's Josh Wingrove, and he was asking about Hamas in Israel and, the peace deal that wasn't. And so Biden is at the G7, and he wants to talk about G7 stuff.
I wish you guys would play by the rules a little bit.
He actually said that. Joe Biden actually said,
I wish you guys would play by the rules a little bit.
Now, the media, they're really angry because this is a president, and I could go through all of the obvious rules that the White House press corps has to go through, because we all know what the rules are. I'm going to talk about that straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time to check the roads. Thank you very much. 7:15 on Nashville's Morning News. Partly cloudy, a high of 94, sunny this weekend, highs in the mid-90s. Today, we're going to get into triple digits, so be careful out there today. And right now, it is 70 at Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. So, Joe Biden, couple of things going on today. Did you hear what's going on with Biden's dog? I'm going to get into that straight ahead. There's yet another story about Commander, and it is in the news today, but we'll do that at 7:35. This is the president chastising the media because they're not, air quoting, playing by the rules.
I wish you guys would play by the rules a little bit. I'm here to talk about a critical situation in Ukraine. You're asking me another subject. I'll be happy to answer it in detail later. But the bottom line is that we've made an agreement. I've laid out an approach.
Yeah, so there you go. So that was Joe Biden trying to answer the question about Hamas and Israel when he wanted to answer questions about the G7. So when Biden says that he wishes the media would play by the rules, I heard that and my head literally exploded, because it's like, okay, what rules are we talking about, Joe? Because Biden's rules are that he has a little note card with a picture on it of reporters and who to call on, when, and in what order. and what the questions are going to be so that he can refer to his notes on a big note card as far as the answer is. That's the way the game is played in the Biden White House. You want to get called on by the president? This is how you're going to ask the question. This is the order, and you got to let him answer the question, and don't ask any follow-up because he doesn't have enough room on the note card for the follow-up. I mean, that's what Joe Biden means by the rules. NBC News' Kelly O'Donnell, the president of the White House Correspondents Association, later issued a statement pushing back on the notion that reporters had agreed to a set of rules on what could be asked. She says the White House Correspondents Association believes it is in the public's interest to make clear that at a presidential press conference at home or abroad, there are no preconditions regarding question topics. While the White House does determine the number of reporters the president will recognize, it is up to the professional journalists to decide what to ask. Any leader may prefer that reporters ask only one question or ask only about a topic that is one of the most interesting to the president at the time or another world leader, but a free press functions independently. Can I just say that is a pretty high and mighty release from a lapdog media? Because I'm sorry, but I've been sitting here watching this media, the White House press corps, collectively kiss the butt of Joe Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre for the better part of 3 years. So don't sit here and tell me, with your chest all puffy out that the journalists of America are independent. No, they're not. Because they allow, by and large, Karine Jean-Pierre to get away with journalistic murder up there on the podium. Every day, it is one lie after another, no follow-up. So before NBC News and Kelly O'Donnell, gets all huffy about journalistic standards, I'm just going to call BS on that because the White House press corps has been allowing Biden to get away with this rulemaking for years now. So give me a break about this free press nonsense. They are free. They just choose not to utilize that freedom to really go after the president and hold him accountable. Somebody please tell me, please, NBC News' Kelly O'Donnell, tell me that George Stephanopoulos really is a responsible journalist. He's not. He is a political hack just like the rest of them. Please tell me, CNN and MSNBC, are they really independent journalists? Are they really a free press, or are they using their freedom, I'm air quoting, their freedom to promote one political party? That is what they're doing. By the way, Kelly O'Donnell adds, the White House Reporters Association, WHCA, would welcome more opportunities to pose a range of questions to the president in a press conference setting. Now, Biden doesn't do a lot of press conferences. See, that's the thing. Biden doesn't do hardly any. And here's the reason why. Biden doesn't do press conferences because he can't handle press conferences. And so while Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News' Kelly O'Donnell, the president of the White House Correspondents Association, while she is out there, getting all journalistic with everybody, I would like to know, when was the last time Kelly O'Donnell called out the White House for the lack of press conferences in a press conference setting? Because Biden just isn't doing them, and that's the problem. 7:20 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, some quick notes. Latest in Ukraine and Israel-Hamas war, because there are things that are going on. We have a lot of topics and stories that we're covering today. Apparently, the G7 agreed to give Ukraine another $50 billion. Now, this is money that comes from investments from frozen Russian assets. They say it is not coming from American taxpayers, although I would say that it would be nice if the American taxpayers could get some of our money back that we have been giving to Ukraine for years now. So that's number one. And number two, as far as Israel and Hamas goes, it does look like Hamas is just playing games. They don't really want this war to end. The United States and Israel have apparently come to an agreement or close to an agreement, but nobody knows where Hamas is on this whole thing. What we do know is that Hamas is agreeing to nothing. It is 7:22 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Well, X marks the spot, as in Xfinity. Now through June 30th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix. That's Xfinity's internet and Stream Saver for just $35 a month. All your favorites all in one place, only from Xfinity. So go ahead and binge some shows, stream some movies, and save some money all at the same time. For more watching and less spending, Xfinity marks the spot. Again, Xfinity. Switch to Xfinity, the network made for streaming, and bring on the good stuff. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Internet offer requires paperless billing and auto pay with store and bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $56 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV, and price is subject to change. It is 7:23 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
State of emergency remains in southern Florida, where there is nonstop rain, nonstop rescues. A motion filed in the Covenant school shooters writings case here in Nashville, coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
728, Nashville's morning news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, the Super Text line is open. We'd love to hear from you for this Friday. 615-737-9986. It is June 14th, going to be a hot weekend. We've got your complete forecast coming up on Nashville's morning news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Okay, coming up in the next segment, we talked about, this was earlier in the week, and we've all been covering the whole, documents that have been leaked from the Covenant shooter, manifesto kind of documents, what they say, how crazy was she, what drugs was she on. The Tennessee Star has released, and this was yesterday, I believe, the drugs that apparently the Covenant shooter was actually on, at least the ones that we know about. And there's a lot of anti-anxiety type of medications. So we're going to talk about that. The Tennessee Star is, it would appear, they're going to be going to court. We have that. We have some Joe Biden commander news for you as well. One of my favorite stories as well. Are voter ID laws racist? They went out and they asked a whole bunch of mamby-pamby progressives, white people, if voter ID laws are racist, and they all said yes. Wait till you hear what happened when they played those answers for a bunch of black folks in New York. It is awesome, and it is straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Why should you go to NetSuite's Business Grows Here event? Well, number one, what a great place to make contacts. There's going to be all kinds of people there that are leaders in not only our city of Nashville, but in the world of business as well. And number two, the speakers. Now, you've got Burke Nihil, the CEO of the Tennessee Titans, and Jamie Siminoff, founder of Ring Video Doorbell, to name just a couple. Now, they also have some great breakout sessions that are going on, learning from the best on things like how to raise capital, doing business in Tennessee, strategies and lessons learned along the way, and they'll also be talking about the growth of Nashville on the East Bank. Now, this is something that you want to go to. It is going to be a great event. NetSuite's Business Grows Here. It's going to be going on at the Conrad Hotel Tuesday, June 25th. It is free. Go to netsuite.com/Nashville. That is netsuite.com/Nashville. Lives can be changed and businesses can be created. So sign up today. That website one more time, netsuite.com/Nashville.
$7:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Going to be hotter today and more humid today than has been all week. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now, a state of emergency remains in southern Florida for life-threatening flooding. Victor Oquendo says it's so bad, one tow truck driver says he's given up.
How many cars do you think you've towed?
Since yesterday, probably 60.
Does the phone just not stop ringing right now?
It just keeps going.
One call after another.
I don't even answer anymore.
Really?
I don't even answer. It's too much.
2 feet of rain, more on the way in parts of southern Florida. Right now in Nashville, a motion has been filed in the hearing on Monday over leaked documents in the Covenant school shooters writings case. The Tennessee Star says CEO Patrick Leahy claims the judge hasn't followed the proper process in ordering him to court to explain how publishing what he says are leaked documents by a source close to the investigation is not reason to start contempt of court proceedings against him. Judge Aisha Miles denied that motion, so the hearing is still on for Monday. The rising cost of a college education has Gen Zers looking to trade in a white-collar future for a blue-collar paycheck. And they're not leaving their social media savvy behind. Lionel Moise has more on one influencer sending shockwaves through the college-age workforce.
Lexia Brew is not your typical TikTok influencer.
I'm going to show you what happens when a breaker doesn't do its job and it doesn't trip.
She showcases the life of an electrician to her 2.2 million followers.
We're going to fix it. We're here to fix it.
A Brew's path is part of a larger trend with more young people turning to trades driven by competitive salaries and rising college costs.
I went to college for pre-med.
Last year, enrollment in trade-focused community colleges rose 16%, and the number of students studying construction trades rose 23%.
Yeah, a Brew works 7 days a week and does take in a large part of her earnings from sponsors like Carhartt and Klein Tools. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver. Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. 7:32 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Friends, I've been a Beehive member for years now, and those benefits are always changing to meet your needs. Now, that's why it is a great idea to sign up to be a Beehive member because of those benefits. Because what you're doing is you're saving money in the long run by maintaining your system along the way. Now, today's the last day because right now you can enter to win a free round of golf for your dad for Father's Day at Hermitage Golf Course when you sign up to be a Beehive member. The deadline, of course, is today. So take care of Father's Day and your HVAC unit with Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Your Rude Pro partner. You can find them online. It's busybhvac.com. 7:39, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Got a lot to fit in a little bit of time. The Tennessee Star going to court. Now, you know how much I appreciate what Michael Patrick Leahy does and the folks at the Tennessee Star. And I just feel like this judge, what is it, Miles? I feel like she's going after the Tennessee Star. I don't think, I'm saying I feel like that's what she's doing. I think that is what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the article in the Tennessee Star, it kind of indicates that Michael thinks she's going to try to make him give up his source.
That's what it is. She's trying to get him to